Hi everyone, my name is Monique. Hey everyone, it's Monique. Hi everyone, my name is Monique. In this vlog, I want to answer a few questions. Hi everyone, my name is Monique, and 3 years ago I chose to leave my apartment and move into my car full-time in order to save money. Thanks to living in my car, I've paid off all my debt and quit my job within the last 3 years, and I've shared it all on this channel. I've shared a bunch of car life videos, from cooking in a car to being in the midst of a ferocious thunderstorm and everything in between. Then I totaled my vehicle a few months ago, and now I no longer have it. Now I'm here to share the newest path my quest has taken me on, which is van life. Woohoo! This past November, I bought a small van and I love it. My dad and I woke up early and drove to another state to pick it up, and we immediately drove back to my parents' house the same day. Driving off the lot. Ever since getting the van, I've been living in it on the weekends to do gig work and spending the weekdays at my parents' house building the van with my dad. I am so excited to share this part of my life with you all, and I'm most excited to do some traveling in my van this year, so stay tuned. It's just crazy. I never thought I would get to have a van anytime soon, and now I'm sitting in one. I'm sitting in the van that I bought. It is a 2022 Ford Transit Connect, brand new. I was gonna get a used van, but I ended up getting a brand new one. I don't know how some of these people are selling their vans. There were a lot of used vans that had a good amount of miles on them, and they were only a few $1,000s less than this one. This van here, 2022 Ford Transit Connect, cost $31,000 plus taxes. I wasn't able to pay for this van solely with the money that I got for my Buick Encore, but that money did cover the majority of it. I did have to go into my savings and get a few $1,000s out of my savings to make up the difference, but I still have money in my savings account, and I'm already working trying to build that back up. So I was able to purchase this van in full, cash, no debt. I am still debt-free, which was very important for me. The van is paid for, so I'm so grateful for that. My thought process when getting a brand new van versus a used van was, it's just a few $1,000s more. I know a lot of people buy vans and buses that have like 100,000 miles on them already. That was not an option for me. Those people always have issues with their vans and their buses. They always break down. They always end up spending a ton of money fixing them. So I wasn't going to get a van that had that many miles on it. I wanted a van that had no more than 50,000 miles on it, and I didn't want it to be too old. I wanted it to be made within like the last few years. And those vans weren't much cheaper than this one. This van was $20,000. I mean, this van was $31,000. The used vans I was looking for, some of them were $29,000, $28,000. The prices were just not that much cheaper for me to have a used van that might have some issues already, and I didn't have warranties. Hardly any of them had any warranties. It just didn't make sense to save a few $1,000s getting that used van when I could just get the brand new van. And my dad really pushed that. My dad did not want me to get a used van at all. From the start, he was like, don't get a used van, don't get a used van. But I told him, all I can afford is a used van, because at that point I wasn't thinking of like digging too much into my savings. So I was like, all that's in my budget is a used van. And he was like, just be patient. I'm gonna help you look, I'm gonna help you look, you know, and he found this van. And I'm really grateful that he kept pushing and putting into my head. He just kept pushing and putting into my head that a new van was best, and to just wait and just keep calling places and to see, because Ford Transit Connect, this isn't even a full-size van. This is a Connect. People, for brand new Ford Transit Connects, people were charging minimum of $40,000. I think the cheapest one was $39,000. but every single dealership we found kept putting an extra like $10,000 on top of the MSRP. We found one that was like $32,000 or something like that. And as soon as we called him, first of all, he was like, oh, the price on the website is wrong. It's really like $35,000. That's an incorrect price. Salesmen at dealerships, some of them are crooks, but he said that the price on the website was wrong. And then he was like, and what they're being sold for right now is $10,000 more than is $10,000 above MSRP. So you're looking at a minimum of $45,000. That was like the first thing he said to us. And my dad was, I could feel my dad getting so pissed off. You know, we expected this to happen, but that guy, he was just really, we didn't like his vibe. Yeah, but we got a lot of that. But somehow my dad found this one for $31,000 and they did not raise the price. They sold us exactly what it was for MSRP. And I do think it had a lot to do with my dad talking to people, because he's kind of like a smooth talker, which is why one of the reasons why I think he was so pissed off with the other guy, because my dad could usually smooth talk. He's very likable. Everyone likes my dad, you know. Plus he's a veteran and he's always putting that out there. It's unfortunate, this world we live in, how some people are. If someone likes you a little bit more for some reason, then you can get certain privileges. And my dad does that all the time. When I was like in my car wreck, my dad came up to the police officer who was like giving the tickets and stuff, and apparently I was supposed to get more tickets because my car wasn't registered, but my dad always throws in his whole veteran thing. And then the cop came up to me and was like, I appreciate your parents for what they did, and I'm not going to give you a ticket for this, this, or this. I'm only going to give you one ticket. And I was grateful, but I was also kind of pissed, because if I didn't have my dad with me at that time, I would have you know, not been given that consideration, when, you know, like everyone should be treated equally. Anyway, that's a whole different video. There was one van that we were looking at, and my dad and I got in the car and we were about to drive to go see it. My dad talked to the guy, whatever, and I guess the guy didn't think my dad was serious. But then like an hour later, my dad called him. He was like, me and my daughter are gonna come out and look at it. And the guy, I guess he was hesitant. He was like, okay. So my dad and I are putting our coats on. We get in the truck. My dad turns the truck on. Then he gets a call. And the guy at the dealership said that he didn't want to be dishonest. He said that the car has a bad transmission. None of this was on the website, okay? Not like, it's quite ridiculous. Like, I'm grateful that he told my dad, but I hate the reason that made him tell my dad, you know, about the transmission, because he didn't say anything about it before. But right when we were about to leave, he told my dad that the van has a bad transmission, that the transmission is gonna need to be replaced. He told my dad about all these other issues with the van, and he was like, I really don't want to waste your time. I don't think you should come look at the van. You know, you're a veteran. And then they started having this whole conversation about how they're veterans and how veterans have to look out for each other and stick together, you know. And that's the only reason why he told my dad the truth, was because they were both veterans. If it had just been me going to get the van, he might have just let me buy the van, not knowing that it had a bad transmission that needed to be replaced. So that really irked me. And it was the same thing with this van. I believe that the reason why we got this van for the exact price of MSRP is because, one, the dealership is a very busy dealership, very popular dealership that we went to. But I think the other reason is because my dad told the guy he was a veteran, and the guy who sold us the van, his dad is a veteran. So they had this whole military thing, you know, and he looked out for my dad. So that was the experience of trying to get a van. Just a lot of Sheisty Salesmen, and just my dad having to smooth talk people. I'm not a smooth talker. I'm not a haggler. I'm not a smooth talker. I really feel like I would have gotten screwed over if I hadn't had help. So I'm just so grateful. Even though I don't like that people get special privileges and special treatment for certain things, I really appreciated having my dad smooth talk everybody he spoke to. Some of you might wonder why I got a Ford Transit Connect instead of a full-size van. For me, the pros of having a smaller van One is gas. I've been driving this van for a while now, and gas, filling up this tank is not that much different than filling up my Buick Encore. I love that this van can fit into normal sized parking spaces. I can drive anywhere in this van. I can drive into any parking garage. I can fit into any little parking space. And this van is smaller than I thought it would be. Like, I have plenty of room for me on the inside, but sometimes I've parked my van in a parking lot next to like a full-size SUV or Escalade or something, and you can't even see my little van. Like, I was walking out of a grocery store one day and I couldn't remember where I parked, and I could not find this van. And then I looked to my right and my van was right there, but I couldn't see it because there was a full-size SUV parked right next to it. It just completely covered my van. And the third reason is really money. The Ford Transit Connect is cheaper. I think when I was looking at full-size Ford Transit Connect, they were like 40 something, $50,000 for the brand new ones. I'm sure you can get used ones for way cheaper. I love the price point of the Ford Transit Connect. I'm really grateful that I started out this lifestyle living in my car, living in a 2018 Buick Encore, because I hear people in full-size Ford Transit saying that they don't have enough space, they need more space. But they started out the Vanlife lifestyle in a full-size Ford Transit. I started out in car life, in a car. So for me, this is a mansion. I know I can't stand up, but I can almost stand up, and almost standing up is more than I could do in that Buick Encore. So I think I've updated you all on everything. That's the point where I'm at now. Currently, at this moment, I am building out the van with my dad. I feel like I might lose some viewers over the next few months, because for the next few months, it's just gonna be building out the van. But that's what's going on in my life right now. I basically just share what's going on in my life and what's going on in my head on this channel. And right now it's just van. So that's basically what my life is going to be for the next few months, is working on this vehicle. We're trying to be as detailed as possible because my dad and I really appreciate the amount of people who posted their van build videos on YouTube. They have been tremendously helpful, like insanely helpful. And I just want to contribute to that. So my dad and I are trying to be as detailed as possible with these van build videos, so that hopefully they can be helpful to you all or whoever finds them when they're building out their van, and just keep paying it forward, you know? So that's my update. In the next video, you'll be able to see inside the van, see what we have done. Just bear with me while I pump out several van build videos, and then I'll get back to content that was similar to the other content that I was putting out, more personal content about my life and my goals and things like that. So yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.